Well, good afternoon. Today we have a 2014 Honda CRV, and it's here for a couple things, but one of the concerns is this flashing compass calibration. Now, I watched a video on YouTube, and the fellow said, use this button to get the calibration to come up there like that, and then press the setup button until the calibration comes up. Well, the only thing that comes up on here is audio settings. I tried with the radio off and I tried with the radio on. Now, he was doing it, mind you, on a 2015 and this is a 14, but it looks exactly the same dash. It never stops calibrating. So I thought, well, maybe it's in the calibration mode and it just needs to be driven in circles, and I tried that and got dizzy, and that didn't work. So when in doubt, read the manual. Turn the ignition switch on, press and hold the setup button until the display shows the compass setting menu. Rotate the knob until select calibration, then press the knob. Well, it doesn't work. I'm pressing the setup button and it doesn't display any compass settings. I've held it for like 15-20 seconds and it still doesn't work. Maybe there's a problem with the compass antenna or something. Let's throw a scan tool on this and see what we get for codes. So this is a new vehicle ID, so it's automatically ID'd the vehicle. Let's do a code scan of all controllers and see what, if anything, comes up. Hopefully we have a code related to the compass. No codes in the engine controls, no codes in the transmission controls. Seems a bit slow. Fail-safe real-time all-wheel drive fail-safe relay stuck off. Not complaining about any drivability problems, any running problems, other than the compass light being on, that's all. Or the compass cal flashing. And we got 6 controllers so far. I'll pick up when we get to the end of this code scan. So we've completed the network code scan and nothing shows up other than this fail-safe relay stuck off in the real-time all-wheel drive. Now we got engine, transmission, all-wheel drive, power steering, anti-lock brakes, airbag gauges, door locks, keyless transmitter. That's usually the module responsible for the compass because it's a wireless module, but I'm not sure. Let's go back and see if there's any other module that might show. Immobilizer setup and registration, integrated driver support system, that could be it. Keyless transmitter. Let's try this. What is this integrated driver support system? Well, whatever it is not supported on this vehicle. That could be like lane departure warning, or let's try this keyless entry transmitter and see if there's any data related to the compass in here in the data list. Not much. Driver's door switches and such. Okay. Try functional tests. Sometimes trunk lid release, keyless check, keyless buzzer. No. What other module might it be in? Body unit information. This test checks which ECUs are connected to the B-CAN bus for each ECU in the results list. Not available means the ECU is not fitted, or there is a problem with this ECU or its connection to the B-CAN bus. Detect means the ECU is fitted and correctly connected. Let's try this. I'm not even sure what modules it's supposed to have in this vehicle. Driver's MCU, MICU, passenger MICU, gauge control module, parking sensor, heads-up display, multi-information display, relay combination switch, power window unit, driver's MPCS unit, rear junction unit, climate control unit, power seat heater, high beam support, rain sensor. A lot of not availables. Adaptive front lighting, power lift gate. Getting close to the end. Active cornering lights, auto AC sub-display, interactive remote control, wireless charger, rear wireless charger, tailgate control, YOP security unit, Bluetooth. Oh, that didn't help. Well, I'm going to do a little research. So here's one case. The compass will not calibrate. We cannot get to calibrate the selector lever on the control panel to change anything. It stays in the clock. And let's have a look at this case. Make sure when you're trying to calibrate the compass, the engine is running. Well, I tried it key on and I tried it running. I tried it in the shop. I tried it outside the shop. It says it will not go into calibration unless the engine is running. Also have the vehicle outside the shop in an open parking lot when performing the calibration. Well, obviously you got to make a bunch of circles. Technician took the vehicle on a test drive and did the calibration on the road, and it would calibrate. Well, I tried that. That didn't work. So let's close this one and read the next case. Looking for a procedure to calibrate the compass. Honda CRV compass. This is the service manual procedure. Let's see if it's any different than what's in the owner's manual. Anytime the electrical compass is united, it should be in an open area away from buildings, power lines, other vehicles, or any other sources of strong magnetic fields. If you see ... and the cal indicator is shown, unit is self-calibrating. In most areas there is a variation between magnetic north and true north. The compass zone needs to be set to your geographic zone to compensate for this variation. The electrical compass unit may need to be manually calibrated after exposure to a strong magnetic field. Showing the wrong direction or not self, do the following. Turn the vehicle in the on mode. Press and hold the setup button until you hear a beep, about 5 seconds. The display shows electrical compass setting manual. Well, I don't get that. That's the setup button. Rotate the selector knob to select the zone. If necessary, press the back button to return to previous display. Pressing it cancels the electrical. So we are in zone, toss up between zone 7 and zone 8. Let's see, we are in zone 9, right on the verge of 8. 8 or 9, but I would say 9. May need to be managed. Wonder how you manually calibrate it. The The audio system is not related to the electrical compass system. Even if the electrical compass system is calibrated, the display returns to the normal display which was last selected. If the calibration fails, try another location. Well, that's useful. So it appears it has a separate compass module. So I went to the service manual to see where this module lives, and it doesn't really specify it, but here is the procedure for removing it. So I started looking through there. It's to disconnect the battery. Well, that's normal. Remove the sill plates. Really? Remove the weather stripping on each door. Remove the A-pillar escutcheons. Remove the upper clip from the body. Remove the trim on the sill plates. A B-pillar trim. Seat belt anchors. Upper B-pillar trim. Rear compartment tonneau cover. Rear floor. Rear trim. Like, are you freaking kidding me? All of this stuff has to come out to access this module? Well, scroll right to the very bottom here, and it's above the headliner. But it's not really clear. See, this is the lights on the roof. Rear display cover, if it has that. Rear controller with screen, if it has that. Cargo light. Grab hooks. Sun visors. Remove the moonroof. Wow. So this is the headliner. They want you to remove the entire headliner from the vehicle to access this module. And there is the module. Now I can't tell if that's at the back or the front. Is it really necessary to remove the entire headliner to access this module? Wow. Better picture of where this module lives would be nice. So I decided to look at a color wiring diagram, an initial version of the color wiring diagram, and it shows the electrical compass left rear of roof. That's all I wanted to know. But it also shows a separate 5 amp fuse in the under dash fuse relay center under the left side end of the dash. So I think it's wise we check this 10 amp fuse number 5. The other fuse feeds the audio unit, and it's working, so I'm sure that fuse is fine. But let's check fuse number 5 and 19. So even in the owner's manual, it does not have a picture of the fuse box, and I can't see any markings on it, but the OE diagram calls this fuse that feeds the electrical compass control unit as B5. I think the other one was fuse 5. Now in the owner's manual, it doesn't have a picture of the fuses. It refers to fuse 5 as the meter, and it shows that fuse 5 also feeds the driver MICU, which I believe is the instrument cluster. So that's working fine, so I'm sure the fuse is good. Now I tested all the fuses there. Some don't have power to them because they're lighting fuses. There are a couple fuses missing. I'd like a picture of the fuse panel, but it's not even in the owner's manual. And there's no cover on it unless it's missing. So it turns out the fuses are numbered, but you can barely see it. I had to get a magnifying glass. There's numbers above the fuses, but B5 is the bottom row, 5th one over from the left. There's a missing one in location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that 10 amp. The 4th 10 amp fuse, which is in location number 5. And it's good, there's power to it. So I'm going to pull that fuse just to remove power from the compass unit and see if it resets it. So I was right, that fuse feeds the driver information center, which is the dash. So the dash went dead when I removed it, but the flashing compass cal message disappeared as well. So I'm going to put it back in. So that process generated some warning lights. So I'm going to have to go in and clear codes, I'm sure. You notice the calibration flashing is back. And we're going to do another code read to see what kind of codes it generated by pulling that fuse. Probably lost communication with instrument cluster would be expected. The check engine light is on, so that would probably be for lost communication. Yeah, gauge control module, yes. Gauge control module. So we'll pick up when this network scan finishes. So as expected, there are multiple modules setting communication codes against the instrument cluster. So we're going to clear all those out now by doing a network code clear. And I got to do this key on, engine off. So I'm doing a network code clear with the key on, engine not running. Most vehicles are like this now, requiring key on, engine off. I went into Identifix to look at how to troubleshoot the electrical compass. It explains how it works basically, and the self-test checks the current voltage, non-volatile memory, and read-only memory status of the electrical compass unit. If the unit detects a malfunction while in the self-test, it indicates a malfunction by flashing the compass information segments cal and northwest, or the direction in the audio display. That's what it's doing. So it's failing that self-test. That's probably why it won't go into. This is how to troubleshoot. That's it. There's no diagnostic procedure whatsoever, and this scan tool doesn't communicate with it for fault codes. I don't know if it's even capable of it. It doesn't mention to it. It's doing a network code clear in the background here. Still going. Anyways, I'm not liking this. This typical Honda vague diagnostics, swapnostics approach is probably what they want. Change the compass. Just drop the headliner. It's only 5 minutes. So when in doubt, try another scan tool. So I'm going to try the MaxiSys Elite here. Probably missed Honda. There it is. Yeah, I know. Got it. Okay. I got the MaxiSys adapter in there. Automatic selection. Read the VIN. Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's Canada or US. We're in Canada, so we'll pick Canada. Yes, that's correct. I'm curious as to whether or not the module, the diagnosis, control unit, engine, ABS, parking sensor, heads-up display, body electrical, EPS, immobilizer, adapter, push start. CAN gateway. Nope. Doesn't look like it's available on the network to scan. Well, let's do a network scan with this computer and see if anything else comes up. All system, hot system. What's the difference? I think we got into about. Take some time. Do you want to execute this test? Yeah, I know it takes time. Park or neutral. It is in park. So let's see how many controllers it scans. I like the idea that it displays a status bar that stays on the screen as opposed to the snap-on one where it disappears as the screen fills up when you scroll. Now mind you, the MaxiSys is definitely slower than the snap-on at doing a network scan, so we'll pick up when it gets to the bottom. So got a fault in the body electrical, but I don't, this only got into 9 controllers. That's interesting. Snap-on scan tools set it access 12. Well, let's see the report. No, there is no report. I thought there was a... Oh no, the pass no fault. Body electrical 8. Yeah. So that didn't help. Well, it looks like the module doesn't support any kind of diagnostics. And I would imagine it's a matter of testing powers and grounds to it, but I'm sure it's fine. But it's up above the headliner, so it's not likely going to happen. I looked in there with a bore scope through the access hole for the tether, and I can't see it. I might take a trip to the salvage yard and see if I could find one with the headliner removed, or just so I could see what's involved in getting at it. That might be it. I'm not sure at this point. So this is the compass module apparently for this Honda CRV. This is a previously enjoyed one. I went to the recycling yard, and partly to find out exactly where it is, and it lives in the headliner at the back here, right about there, about 6 to 8 inches forward of the back of the headliner, right in that area. Now according to the service literature, you're supposed to remove the entire headliner. We're going to try just to lower it enough to reach in there. There is one little 6mm bolt on this side, and then it slides towards the left and pops out of a clip, and one 8-pin connector, I think it is, 6 or 8-pin connector. Focus. Well, whatever. So we're going to see what we have to do to get this headliner dropped down in this back corner enough to reach in there with our hand. So you can pop this panel off and pop this clip down here. Take the 2 screws out of the roof light and you can drop it down. Now you can see that blue connector. That's the connector on the sensor. So we're just going to try and wedge this cover down slightly so that we can get in there with a wrench and take that screw out. So there's the old one out. You can see it up in there. Now I still have to put the little 6mm bolt in that holds it in place, but I've got it installed on the clip and plugged in. Now theoretically this came out of a working car, so it shouldn't even need to be calibrated, I would think. Remember, the display was flashing. Let's see what it does now. It indicates we're going northeast. Well, it's not flashing anymore, so let's try the setup button now. Now we get the zone in the calibration. Zone 8. Okay, we'll do the calibration after. So I think we're going to do a manual recalibration on it because it says I'm heading southeast and I believe I'm heading northeast right now. But it's not flashing anymore like it was, so we're going to try the calibration process, the manual calibration process. So we're going to try this manual calibration process. So press the setup key. Until you get the zone. The zone is correct. Go down to calibration. Select calibration start. Now this is where we were at before. It was like it wouldn't calibrate. So make a slow circle. It doesn't specify right or left, so I'm turning left. Away from power lines. Says you might have to go around twice. dizzy. It's not calibrating. Now this is exactly what the other one was stuck on too. So I'll try the other direction now. Should have left it alone. Trouble is, it was indicating the wrong direction. I'll bet you it's going to be stuck in this flashing mode like it was before. Well, that's 2 left turns, or 2 right turns now. Not calibrating. Not happy. So that's exactly the same result we had when the car came in, with the direction flashing. Now when I press the setup key, I'm pressing it now, it just goes to the radio settings. It doesn't go into the calibration settings for the compass, because it's not finished calibrating and it won't calibrate. I've tried turning left 6 times, turning right 6 times, slow, fast, tried a different location, no luck. Well, that's weird. I must have did a bunch of figure 8s. I shut it off and restarted it, and now it indicates the correct direction. Let's take it down the road where it should be pointing north and see. It says I'm going southwest, which is about right. Now it's going west. That makes sense. The road that I live on faces pretty much due north or south, depending which direction you're headed. West, north. Look at that. So it's working now. Oh man. Well, seems like I had to cycle the key, but it doesn't say that in the service literature. Oh well. It seems to be working now.